Like most people who bought this game, I was extremely hyped when we were first given the trailers. Unlike most people, however, I had only heard of the franchise and have never really actually played an Assassin's Creed game. Started one, but never really got into the game or games as a whole. The Assassin's Creed franchise, the Valhalla installment included, are made by Ubisoft Montreal Productions. Valhalla was made for PC, PS4, and 5, the Xbox Series X, S, and 1, and for the Google Stadia. Forgive my mispronunciation. This is an open-world RPG style game that makes stealth look cool, but what I feel the real focus of the game was the massive world that they created within the game. You start out as a little boy in the midst of celebrating a coronation of your tribe's new leader, only to have said celebration cut short and the character's life changed forever. In true Assassin's Creed fashion, the date that you're currently at in your simulation is somehow corrupted, and here is where you can choose to play as the female or male version of your character. I chose the female option. Whichever you choose to go with, your character's name is Eivor, and you live in the Raven clan and are driven by restoring your family's honor, at first at least. Valhalla itself is based in both Norway and England in the Dark Ages, and the people that lived there, which in the year 873 are Vikings. Personally, I found this game a bit hard to follow, but if you're an experienced Assassin's Creed player, then you should be fine. I find myself more often than not going off the path or quest and just wandering the environment, which is what these games are awarded for. However, unlike the other open world games that I've played, like Skyrim, I found that this world seemed a bit empty, and when eventually I'd realize I was on a quest that needed to be completed, I would have a hard time getting back to the town and or area that I'd gotten the quest from, for I'd wandered too far off the beaten path. The plot for the game, however, after doing some research, since this is my first dive into this franchise, to my surprise is much darker than previous games, and the voice actors for the characters did a wonderful job at portraying this. Besides this, the combat and narration for the game are pretty spectacular, although I found myself having a bit of issues getting used to the characters like Raven, sight thing, and controlling it, as seen here. I was extremely grateful to find that the combat for the game went smoothly, even though I'd end up getting frustrated with the amount of times I would die and have to restart encounters until I completed them. Of what I could hear of the music, it paired well with what I was doing, and remained true to the time period, even if I did have to strain to hear it at times. I did find, again, that the music would be quiet, and I'd have to strain to hear it, and then all of a sudden it would be loud, and then go back to being quiet again, which my ears were not too happy about, and this would happen frequently when going in and out of combat. However, I do feel that the music and the nature sounds that you are given within the game help with the immersion and help pass the time as you're either wandering the wilderness or completing quests or both. A few extra things I found interesting about the game, other than the expansive map and the hours of exploration that came with it, was the historical accuracy that the game developers took when creating the game. I enjoyed hearing the original language being used when I would walk in between characters within a town or area, and also I found it nice that the types of clothing that they had chosen to use in the game was also accurate. Well, as accurate as they could be with it being a video game. And that added to the graphics and detailed environment, I was in awe of how far video games have come over the years. Specifically the Assassin's Creed franchise. Along with this, the towns that you get to experience actually feel like actual towns with communities and environments and conversation, until, you've played the game so much that all of the towns start to blend. Overall, I would give this game a rating of top of the mountain For between the exploration, storyline, and amazing world, I kept wanting to come back to this game whenever I got the chance.